Good morning. I'm Anaïs. Thank you so much for tuning into Sun and Moon Yoga's YouTube channel this morning. I am tinkering with my mic today, so hopefully we're back in business, but if you can't hear me for any reason, please do leave a comment and I can adjust accordingly. But for today's practice, as usual, you'll need a blanket to get settled and give you a little extra padding throughout the practice, as well as 2 blocks. So make sure you have those handy. And then once you've arrived, go ahead and have a seat. Good morning. Just making sure that didn't say I can't hear you. Good morning. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Any seated position is fine. And take a moment to soften your gaze or close your eyes altogether. Begin by tuning into the breath and noticing if you can bring a completely non-judgmental, observational quality to your breath. So being present with the breath without attempting to make any changes in pace or to the quality, avoiding any judgments such as my breath feels like really strong or good or bad in that way. Just observing without attempting to make any changes, which can certainly be difficult, and that's more than half the battle, is just bringing that pure observation to what's going on to the breath and inside the body. And once you feel like you've connected, you've tuned into the breath, maybe just say hello. Welcome, breath. So glad to have you here. And then just notice what other parts of the body you can feel the breath, or perhaps just awareness. So as you move down from the nose and chest, where you might feel any expansion from inhaling, you might also visit the arms and the hands, especially if they're exposed right now to the air, and just notice if you can feel that sensation of air making contact with the skin. And then while resting your awareness in your hands, maybe noticing tingling or sensations of hot or cold. What do you notice? There's no right answer. It's simply being present with whatever sensations are with you today. And then you can bring that same awareness down to the feet. Noticing again any sensations from the fabric of your socks or your pants, or simply the air making contact with your bare feet. And any sort of sensations that might be resting there. And then finally, maybe seeing if you can envelop the whole body in this awareness. Noticing all at once what is happening inside me right now. Can you feel the breath? Can you feel the body at work? Maybe you even notice the thoughts. And you can allow them to be present just as any other sensation inside the body, without pushing them away necessarily, but simply staying present, regardless of the thoughts, regardless of the itch. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Inhale, imagining that awareness growing a little bit stronger. Exhale, allowing yourself to be a little more at peace with these sensations and this awareness of the present. One more breath, inhaling, expanding that awareness, integrating with what's going on inside the body, and exhale, allowing yourself to be at peace and present with whatever it is that you've described to yourself. All right, from here, begin to raise your gaze, open your eyes, allow the room to meet your eyeballs, and we'll get ready for a little bit of movement. So today, let's get started in table pose, coming onto hands and knees. And we'll simply move from side to side to warm up the hips. So bumping your hips over to the right. Take your gaze over your left shoulder, breathing in, maybe a nice side seam stretch here. And if that feels like too much, you can always bring your head over to the right as well, so you can play around with that and see what feels good. Then bring your hips over to the left side. Let your gaze shift over your right shoulder. And then swing back over to the first side, letting your head go to the opposite direction. And move through this a couple times, going side to side. Continuing to tune into the breath, to tune into what's happening inside the body as we warm up here side to side. So the theme of today's practice is impermanence, which is one of the main teachings. And just this morning I was listening to a meditation from Tara Brach, and she compared meditating to understanding the difference between when a glass is whole, right? So she mentioned a man who really liked to drink out of the same glass. He had one favorite glass. I'm sure we can all relate to that, even if it's not a glass, it's something else. And she mentioned how this man acknowledged that the glass to him was already broken. And so she referred to that lesson as a lesson in meditation as well, acknowledging the impermanence of an object or the thoughts, the feelings of even our own bodies, how accepting that can help us to embrace and sit with whatever it is we have in front of us in the present moment, whether it be a whole glass or a broken glass. So see if you can bring that sort of attitude to your practice today. Just noticing the impermanence. Next time you come through center here, going to move into some cat-cow to warm up the spine. So pressing the mat away from you, round your spine up towards the sky, drop your head, your tailbone. And then release your belly down, pull your chest forward. Couple more times here. Moving in and out of cat-cow. And so just as cat turns to cow, turns to cat again, we begin to notice the impermanence of things, right? They just continually change. And the work is to be able to sit with it, regardless of what state it's in. And we can bring that to any sort of discomfort on the mat as well. Can you sit with it, knowing that it will change in the very next moment? All right, go ahead and release that. You're going to push yourself up so that you're standing on just your knees. And then inhale, reach forward and all the way up. Nice.